Everyone to another episode of No Prize Podcast. Now, the observant of you will notice that we have pulled our own very ASM 26 switch around as the professor isn't here this week. He's off recovering his wounds from having read Amazing Spider-Man 26. I hope he gets better soon. Of course, you have me, and of course, it's Lucas. Lucas, how's it going, sir?
Recovering. Too much party and too much chocolate milk and and reading comic books. You know how it goes, man.
I hope is chocolate milk some sort of metaphor? Is that some sort of innuendo that I am unaware of?
It's an allegory for enjoying life too much.
Ah,
Yeah,
I have it on good authority. You've been enjoying life so much that you have stepped into the Spider-Verse. Is that right?
I have, and oh my God. So let's. This was an interesting week, man. There was a whole bunch of really big events for Marvel in general that was kind of moving stuff around. Um, Man, look, freaking cross the Spider Verse. So this is the hey, there's a whole bunch of spider people around, just so you know, and then this is how they interact with each other. But I went to see it Thursday night, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I went to see it Thursday night just to see hey what was going on, was it worth it, and everything.
Lucas is so hungover, he's forgotten what night you saw this.
Yeah, it was like I was like, because I'm like, I was about to say Friday, like no, yesterday was Friday, Thursday, Thursday, I don't know. Um, yeah, so what I here's my suggestion before you go see it, definitely go see it, or definitely go see the first one. Um, that makes it because I know people probably saw it, but they probably forgot what happened and everything. But if you go see the first one, it gives it the second one a lot more context and a little bit more enrichment as to what you're actually seeing.
All right, okay.
The reason why I say that is because in the first one, of course, you get all the characters, and everything, but um, the big theme for the first one was uh, Richard Fist, the big kingpin. He was doing everything he could to bring his family, who was dead in his particular universe, get another family from another universe and bring it to him. But of course, might happen with that is he might end up destroying that universe and all the other universe, right?
Yeah.
That's but he didn't care. All he cared about was having his family,
And
and that's
is
kind
it?
of
I
go
mean,
ahead.
once they've transplanted over, though, they couldn't survive, right? We saw that with the different spider folks. Every now and again, they'd like glitch out, wouldn't they? So you
Yeah,
kind of, I don't know, I don't know if it's a short-sighted goal he had, but that was indeed his goal, Lucas, definitely.
that was his goal, right? He was willing to kill all the universes just for his selfish needs and wants, which is kind of a weird philosophy. So I don't know if you've ever heard of that weird philosophy question. Is okay if you're a conductor in a train and you're barreling to out, and then at the end of the tracks you see a whole bunch of people. You see split tracks, right? You
Right?
see on one side of the tracks, you see a whole bunch of people on one side of the tracks tied to the tracks, and on the other side, you see just one person. Which one do you go to? Do you switch it and make sure that you don't kill that one person because for
But
whatever, or try do you try to save that one person, or do you just let it barrel into the other
yeah,
that there's the
yeah,
question,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like okay, and then everybody usually answers, well, no, you kind of save all those people, you just gotta let that other person die. Like, well, what if that person is somebody you know? What if that's somebody
Yeah.
you love? What if it's Albert Einstein? What if it's somebody important? Well, then the question kind of changes, right? According to his social value and his personal value to you, right? Well,
Uh-huh.
so that's kind of the question that was spread across in Edge of Spider-Verse number 1. Now, on number 2, that selfishness that Kingpin had, that kind of translated into Edge of Spider-Verse 2, where it's
Mhm.
not Kingpin, right? It's other
Hmm.
individuals, to include some of the good guys, right? So
Hmm.
instead of it being him, it's
Yeah.
now, right.
Them.
Yes, right. So so you know how I hate certain plot devices, right? Such
Oh,
as good
yeah.
guy versus good guy. Here, it actually worked. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, it actually freaking worked because we've got the setup. We know why. We know we they take us individually into some of the characters and their motivations, and then says, hey, all right, this is what happened to these guys. They saw what happens, and
Yeah.
they are willing to um, sacrifice their needs and their wants and everything to make sure that everybody else is good. But then you
Yeah.
got that one character or that one or two characters like, no, my personal experience, I gotta have this freaking happen for me.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why it was absolutely fantastic. And I haven't seen a lot of people actually talking about that thematic switch. Um,
I think that from the trailers, I mean, I am going to see it. I haven't seen it yet, but I am going to see it. But from the trailers, it seems quite obvious who the rogue element is in this one. I'm
yeah,
hoping I'm hoping I'm wrong, but
yeah.
but we'll
Yeah,
see. No spoilers.
yeah. So yeah, you just gotta watch out for it and pay attention to it, man. It's very great. Um, the other thing that I really liked about it is, so we've been complaining that there have been too many new Spider characters within
Yep.
the last year. They actually made it work. They actually made it a reason for those people to freaking all of a sudden be there.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna have to go see it again because there were certain ones that I did not see that I was hoping to see. But we'll see. Sooner or later, I'll bootleg it or whatever, just so we can see what's going on in there. Hey,
It doesn't mean that really.
hey, hey! They already got my money. They already got my real money. They don't
Yeah,
need,
they did
I'm giving you
twice.
more. Yeah,
Yeah. So see how many spoilers we can get of you. Does
yeah.
Jessica Drew turn up? No comment.
I will say if you look at the poster right there, um, and then you see that there's this Spider Woman right there, but that's not the Caucasian Spider Woman.
Okay.
Okay. So that I do believe I can say this. So with all the talk about the web of the web of universes and everything
Uh
like
huh.
that did not actually show up here.
Oh, that's good. I'm
Um,
pleased that didn't show up because that was terrible.
so that was kind of weird. Um, what did you have another question?
No, no, no.
Okay.
That was it. That was it.
Um, the dialogue. My goodness. There is a bad plot device of going, hey, we got this dialogue sequence, and then we're gonna go to this dialogue sequence, and then we're gonna go to this dialogue sequence. That's a bad. They did that a couple times, and and it went from this dialogue trying to make you cry, and then it went to this dialogue sequence to make you cry with no new information.
Uh,
And you know what? It wasn't bad. It gave people a chance to freaking
oh,
breathe.
Lucas
Yeah.
cried.
No,
Oh
well,
no.
I didn't cry, but I did hear a couple sniffles from the back row in the back of me.
Ah,
So no, so I think it worked. I think it hit some of the notes. They were able to, I forget what the general rating for this one, whether it was for teenage adults or whatever, but I do feel like it did hit those notes of, hey, this is a good movie for kids, and then it also shows you the perspective from the adults, right?
okay.
And then it shows you a perspective not from just an American side, but it actually shows you the perspective from on the international note, and
Okay.
then it's like, hey, here's the status quo. Oh, by the way, here's the Spider Punk, which says screw anything, everything. Let's go for anarchy. So man, there were so many freaking elements that it was able to show those different perspectives, and it didn't freaking miss those notes on it. So
Cool.
bravo on this one. Yeah, it's got to win a few things.
It's got a. It is also. I have to a bit of a personal history here. It is my cousin is going on her first date today at the time
Mm,
of recording, and Spider Man's the thing they're going to see. So
yeah.
let's see if if it hits the high notes for my cousin and
Yeah.
her,
Well,
her
I will say
newborn.
like when we went on Thursday night, there was a lot of I think I was the only family there that had actual young kids with me. So there's a lot of older or
Yeah,
adults and freaking couples there. So
couples. All right,
yeah,
cool. All right, I'm looking forward to it. My wife liked the first movie. I liked the first movie a lot. So I'm a little bit nervous about how things progress because for me, the first movie was bang on as was. So I don't understand why we need to go back again.
yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what the situation
Yeah,
is.
I think the only thing that I've heard people really harping on it about is the soundtrack. That the soundtrack is just not as good as the first one because it
Yeah,
doesn't have that really key song that like that Post Malone song.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it didn't bring it back. It just went on some other stuff. But I will say that I was keeping track of like how the utilization of some of the music and how it uses it to annotate rising action as well as keynote emotional tones.
Uh-huh.
And it was just bang on, absolutely freaking perfect the way and it was very smart the way it just left it in the background on loop,
Yeah,
and then as we're getting ready to go, then it brings it up
yeah.
and freaking keeps going on and freaking that's absolutely fantastic.
Cool. Excellent. Soundtrack's always massive in movies.
It is.
Good call. Excellent. All right. So from one high note, Spider-Man. This is the week that was, Lucas. It finally dropped. Amazing Spider-Man 26.
Yes, sir.
One shall fall. Now, let's get the dates for this before we get into it. Written by Zev Wells or Marvel Editorial, depending on who you believe. Art by John Romita Jr., inks by Scott Hanna, Marcio Menez, and Eric Siniga are on colours. Joe Caramanga from VC are on letters. Published by Marvel Worldwide or Marvel Comics. There you go. I know my views on this book. And the review is on Comic Crusaders as we speak. So I thought this book was atrocious from cover to cover. There's only two people who come out of this book unscathed. One's Scott Hanna on inks, and the other one is Joe Caramanga on letters. Everybody else just, oh my, I suppose maybe the colorists, but still. Um, this book is the most pointless book ever, in my opinion, Lucas.
Mm,
I was hoping that it was switch and bait. You mentioned it in our private chat that it could be switch and bait when it all hit the internet. And have we actually seen the issue? So I was hoping that was some sort of like there might be a surprise. Lo and behold, there isn't. It is as you've heard. For no reason whatsoever, Miss Marvel buys it. No reason other than the fact that what to make a book before the movie comes out in a few months' time. I don't know what the crack is here, but no connection to Spider-Man, no connection to Peter Parker, no connection to MJ, no connection to anything. Marvel then take them another step forward by getting rid, or step backwards even, by getting rid of the kids like that,
mm,
lickety split. So this year we've seen no sight of Jerry Drew from Spider-Woman.
mm,
We've seen the loss of the Fantastic Four kids,
mm.
and now these two have been wiped out. It's like Marvel have no sense about these sort of things. They've written themselves into a corner with these characters, and now they're just wholesale changing them around. This book, you know what? I feel sorry for Zeb Wells. I absolutely genuinely feel sorry for him because this run started off at a fair kilter and everyone's like, wow, it's great. But he's been held back by events, editorial, extra issues, and now this. I don't understand. It should be MJ. Batman has lost Alfred and Commissioner Gordon over in his book for different reasons, albeit, and yet he still manages. It adds a new dimension to that character.
Yeah.
This is just hogwash. It's terrible. Lucas, what did you think?
So let's give some context to exactly what you're going on about.
Thanks. Cheers,
Yeah.
mate.
Like
Hashtag Lucas doesn't agree with me. Oh,
no. Well, it's like you said. It's if I hadn't read this, you know, okay.
Go on,
Your
go
key,
for it.
like you said, your key writers is Zeb Wells. You got your John Ruder Jr. as your penciler, anchor Scott Hanna, colorist is Marcio Meniz, and Erica Arcianga, letters is John Caramanga. So what we've been dealing off with for the last, I would say, at least 10 issues or so, has been this storyline where there's been Mr. Scribbleman, right? Mr. Scribbleman has been jumping in and out of New York, terrorizing MJ and Spider-Man, and
And Paul,
right, and Paul, and good shout. And
thank you.
there was some event that they just weren't telling us what happened because now Peter Parker was alienated from MJ. He was
Mm-hmm.
alienated from his best friends in Fantastic Four. We didn't even see the Black Cat coming around anymore. So they were kind of spreading this out through different books, like the Mary Jane and Black Cat book, through
Mm.
the Beyond the Limit book, through the Gold Goblin freaking book. So they were trying to spread this out and just put little pieces here and there, but we didn't get till what number 25 of like kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Um, and that's that Peter Parker, MJ, to get trekked off to another universe again. Um, where
Okay.
by the emissary is trying to kill MJ and sacrifice her, and they didn't really explain what was going on. And then there's these magical symbols that you put it on certain things means certain stuff and everything. Um, so now they're all back, right? They're all back, but MJ is off with Paul. Um, and they've got these two kids that are not theirs. They're just from the other universe. Um, and then they've been back in their own universe of 616 for at least a year now, right? Just
Mm.
chilling unhappily. Peter Parker's unhappy. MJ's been happy, but now the Scribble Man, the emissary, has been back, and he's like, "All right, I found you. Now it's time to do the sacrifice." Um, and this is where it gets a little weird because I've always thought like, okay, they've been mentioning sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. They dropped a couple of nuggets here. That big nugget is that um, the emissary, um, he, because we already knew that he was a Paul Rabin, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't know till this particular issue that the guy that was with MJ and is now her husband is the same freaking guy. So that's where the whole sacrifice piece is huge and why it actually makes sense because you can't sacrifice something that's not yours, right? Well, otherwise that's just destruction of property or freaking just murder, right? Um, so they dropped this one, and then like you said in this one, they also Kamala Khan, she hasn't been in this particular issue at all, but she's been in some of the other issues. Like at one point during the Beyond Limit and during the Dark Web #1, that's when she actually got a job with Oscorp, right? But we never heard anything like that. They haven't had her pop back out and just like looking around the corner, looking at freaking,
Mm.
you know. So we haven't been able to make that connection, nor have we cared to, because she's 15, right? Um,
I
no,
love
it's
that.
like
No, do we care to?
so when you have this 15-year-old girl show up and get basically murdered, it's freaking a shock, and people are like, man, this is racism. Like you out of all the people that were hustling and bustling and with this big baddie, you had the little Indian, no, Irish, Pakistani, I forget which one she is, show up and she gets murdered. And then the other thing that people are not liking is that her usual powers are flexile powers, right? She can stretch her arms, stretch her
Perfect.
legs, make
I'm
herself
glad you brought
big.
this up.
Now all of a sudden she can change into look like whoever. Okay, maybe. Maybe let's play that freaking game. But now you're telling
Nah.
me that she could change her clothes as well. Is her actual clothes that she's running around with are they actually her skin now? Is that what we're saying? Because Mary Jane was in full clothes with a leather jacket, a tank
Yeah.
top, and freaking jeans and boots. Now you're telling me that Kamala Khan can acclimate clothes as well. Is she actually? I don't get that. You got it. Somebody's got to explain to me because sorry,
Well,
it's just the way it is, right?
off the record, we talked about this during the week, and the professor, he's like shouting "scroll,"
Yeah,
you
which
know,
could be right.
and this kind of then this this then even cheapens the deal even more for me, because we all know that superheroes come back. We all know that they die and they come back, and that's fine, right? But this is an event. This is now going to lead to a series of books, Fallen Friend type books, the same way that when Cap bought it a few years back, there's a whole series about how great Cap is. Now, Marvel expect us fans to buy into this so much that we're going to go out and buy all these tie-in books and the We Love Kamala Khan books and all that
Right.
sort of stuff. And then 6 months down the line, reveal how she comes back. It's a money grab. It's nothing but a money grab. And it really annoys me to the point where I think, why do I fall for this every single time? You know, it happens. I mean, Marvel aren't the only people who do this. DC do it as well. You buy into whatever hook they're selling, and then it comes to the light, and it's just nowhere near good enough. And you think to yourself, why am I? I'm 52 years old, and I'm still buying into the crap that it really matters. It's so frustrating, and
It is.
to the point where um, I ranted about it so much to my comic book shop, where I buy the book, and he was like, "Does that mean you want Amazing Spider-Man taken off your pull list?" I was like, "Yes, it does. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
No amount of Black Cat is going to pull me back to Amazing Spider-Man. That's it. I'm done." And not only that, Lucas, you can help me with this. Issues 1 through 26, they're going on eBay later this weekend because I've had enough. I don't even want them clogging up my comic book collection.
I
I'm
would
done.
say, yeah, I would say that it is wise because here's what I didn't understand. I really don't understand about what's actually going on because I would have thought that once the leak happened,
Yeah.
that people would have automatically started dropping and started asking for refunds, right?
Uh-huh.
That didn't actually happen, and it kept selling copies at a pretty good pace.
Uh-huh.
So I guess so. It's usually first appearances that people are all over and freaking love and like.
Yeah.
In this case, it's a death of a character, and people are still liking what the heck was going on. I don't
Yeah.
get it. I don't understand it. Maybe it's because of the cover, right? The cover was a
Yeah.
spoiler cover, right, which is kind of unique. So you don't. They've got this cover that's over the actual cover, right? And that's pretty good. It's kind of glossy, right? And then when you open it up, that's where you get the art for um, her Peter Parker carrying Kamala Khan. Uh,
Crisis style.
right. So I don't know. So yeah, go ahead, freaking sell it. Like I've got plenty of freaking copies because bought 200 copies of this freaking thing. I've sold most of my copies. I think I've got maybe 25 left. I think at this point, because people kept freaking buying them. But this is a nasty freaking trick, Marvel. They shouldn't have freaking did this. At least, at the very least, they could have made sure that we gave Kamala Khan some type of actual hurrah, so we actually cared about what's going on with her, because her TV series hasn't been around for a while, and we have her own series was canceled a while ago, right?
Uh, I mean, this
And
is a great point. This is a great point. If you look through the book, it says on the back page, advertising for the Fallen Friends series, The heartbeat of the Marvel Universe has died. It's like, how can she be a heartbeat? She doesn't even have her own book.
Doesn't have her own book, doesn't have her own TV series. In the
So it's like,
meantime, right now the heart book of the Marvel universe is Miles right now because he just came out with a movie, and
oh man,
people are showing that they actually care about Miles and Gwen and the other freaking Spider people, right? If you're going to freaking kill somebody, maybe bring in some of these other people. What about Silk, right?
yeah, that's a
Probably
good
could have
shout.
brought in Silk, kill her, right?
Yeah,
Black Cat, she's been around, hopping around for a while. Kill her, right? Um, no, Aunt May, she's been coughing and hacking for a while. We can let her, we can rest in peace for a little while.
I mean, we all know these characters are going to come back, so it's just, I'm done.
Yeah.
I am absolutely done with it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Cool. Any more to
Oh
say about ASM?
no, just
No.
let this
Let
let
this one
this
go.
yeah let
Let
this
this one go.
trash heap freaking burn on the freaking parking lot. Just
All
let's
right.
leave it. Let's see
Uh,
how if it works out for Marvel.
all right. So before we move on to our next couple of books, and of course the 2 minute one, time for an advert for one of our other shows. This one drops the day after this one, so it's the old timers.
Do you want to find out what makes the professor do his happy dance? Check out the Old Timers Comic Book Show, only on the UCPN.
There you go. That drops on the Wednesday after this show, the Old Timers Comic Book Show. The next episode is a death special, kind of tied into what we're talking about today. So go and check that out. No professor for that either. So that's myself and Al Mega from Comic Crusaders podcast will be joining me on that one.
Nice.
Cool. Excellent. All right. Next up is, as a palate cleanser from all this mopey kind of pointless storytelling, we have Avengers Beyond #3. That's written by Derek Landy, art by Greg Land, inks by J. Leaston, Frank DeMarco's on colours, VC's Corey Pendant is on letters. There we go. Do we have a picture of this?
Oh yes, sir.
Not that one. Not that one.
Uh oh, stand by. Go
Whoa.
ahead, keep talking. While I figured out why
It's all
my
right.
computer doesn't want to work.
All right. Okay. So, as you know, the Avengers Beyond book is about the Beyonder messing around with the Avengers again. It was a bit of a mini series. As per the Marvel marketing machine, it has spoiled itself by telling you what was going on way before the final end. This is kind of like the next, I suppose, series in this. So if you like your Avengers a little bit more traditional, this is the book where to find it, because you've got Cap still, he's missing from the current book. You've got Thor, you've got Captain Marvel, you've got Black Panther, even a guest appearance from the new heartbeat of the Marvel Universe, Moon Girl.
Yes. Yeah.
Is on there. For me, so story-wise, basically, the way it works is there's a guy standing outside of Earth. Earth is protected by a massive shield, and basically the guy is wanting in, and the Avengers want to keep him out. The Lost One, he's called, and lo and behold, the Black Order are there banging on about Thanos, and things take a little bit of a hit, and the Lost One manages to get in, but then he gets out, and then there's a twist at the end that kind of feels all right. Actually, I must admit, this is kind of a bit like a park your brain type of book, because it's like one great big fight scene. The dialogue between Cap and Moon Girl I found quite endearing. I quite like that. The art is a bit wonky. I mean, it's Greg Land, so on some pages the female characters look like Playboy models, and other times they have no shape whatsoever. And there's a god awful picture of Cap shouting halfway through the book that just really hurts your eyes to look at it. But all said, it is what I said at the start. It's a bit of a palate cleanser. You know what you're going to get. It's the Black Order versus the Avengers. No great shakes. There you go. I think probably a straight up mid tier book for me. Lucas, what do you think?
It's I was in a mix about it, right? Because it gave us what it promised, right? It gave us a fight between the new Lost One, um, the monologue that it was kind of trying to explain everything was by this new character Tiamat.
Yep.
I believe I forget what I don't think she was. I don't think her first appearance was in the first issue. It was in that other weird Avengers multiverse weird freaking stuff. That's where she actually showed up. Um, you know, they get us to the point where I'm not sure where the Fantastic Four was, but yeah, Captain America does lean on Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur um, to try and help Black Panther and Tony Stark. So that's where looks like they're trying to elevate, like, and actually use her as supposedly one of the most intelligent people in the Marvel universe right now. So
Well, that
as
works for me. I'm not gonna lie. I think that quite works.
yeah, yeah, like that's always been the most disturbing thing for me. Like, okay, they said she was the smartest person, but they had nobody's been actually really utilizing her. So
Mm.
they actually pulled her out and started setting it up, which is really good because look, she's had a TV series. It came out and nobody's cared about the TV series since, right? So maybe I'm not sure what's going on. Like I saw the first issue and it was like, and we haven't cared about that freaking thing since. Um, there was the big fight, of course, where the Black Order they're showing up, in under the service of the Lost Ones, so they could get this, that, and other thing to let them in, um, and they fail, kind of, and all of a sudden, just stuff just opens up anyways, because it turns out there's a big twist now,
Hmm.
that the Beyonder wanted to let the Lost One in, to utilize the shield to keep use the earth as a prison for the lost one, because the lost one is so powerful out there.
Mm.
He doesn't think he or his kind are going to be able to just keep fighting him on forever. So that was actually kind of twisty. I actually did like that freaking twist.
Mm. Me too.
um, um, but the problem right now is, they still haven't really defined who the lost one is. He doesn't really have that big um brand uniform. He doesn't have that big brand look. Like,
Hmm.
if you showed me a shadow of Thanos, boom, hey, that's Thanos. That's the big baddie right there. That right there. We don't have that yet for the Lost One, so we don't know how bad he is. So I do want to see. All I want to see in number 4 is what actually happens when he gets there. I want to see him actually wreck stuff on the Earth, trying to freaking get out. Um,
Mm.
they need to take the 4th issue and just do nothing but define how bad he is, why it's bad for him to be on Earth, um, and do that thing. Um, once again, this is another good versus good. It's not head to head good versus good, but it's like it's the good guy who now turns to heel, um, to save the many of the many universe, and he's willing to sacrifice the 7 billion people on Earth to justify his means. So that was a thing that's out there. They just need to tighten up just a little bit.
Mm.
The dialogue was mostly monologue, right? Monologue.
Yeah.
Somebody just saying, "Well, this is happening. Well, this is
Yeah.
fucking happening." I was like,
A bit of tell, not sure.
yeah. So yeah. That always kind of. I look. I'm paying what, 3.99 for
Yeah.
this freaking book. Yeah, you better freaking doggone show me. I don't care how long it takes. Show me what the heck is going on. Don't freaking tell me, right? Because once again, if I just pick up this book, this is it literally landed with no impact. I got to be the guy that remembers. Oh yeah, they've been saying that this guy has been coming for a while.
Mm.
Not everybody's going to spend all this money on this book, especially with some of these books being 4.99, 7.99, and the likes. So, uh, the importance of this book is going to depend on what's actually going on in some of the other books. Um, they do have the potential of finding out the lost one and having this be a classic story series. Just gotta they gotta get it in,
Mm.
find who this guy is, define what he actually looks like, have him kill like half the fucking planet.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen because you got Secret Invasion, you got this, that, and other thing. So
Yeah, and for me, I think it's always a timing issue with the Avengers because I mean this is like its third issue, all right, and the main book, the main Avengers book, that's just relaunched, and that's got Kang going on, and this has got the Beyonder. It's like how many of these world-threatening threats can happen at the same time, you know?
yeah.
You'd think the bad guys would like, text each other or something, say, "Hey man, I'm gonna try and conquer the universe this week. What are you up to?" "Nah, I'm just watching a ball game." "All right, cool. See you in a couple of weeks." And off they go.
I'm looking for. Can we just get some more Avengers with some little Swarmer units, some Swarmer moments, right?
Yeah,
Let's go get some Swarmer, and then as they're getting ready to freaking bite into Swarmer, then they get freaking called up for some bull
yeah,
BS.
yeah.
I,
Yes,
I think would have more impact there.
I agree with you on that one. I'm all for that. Cool, excellent. That's Avengers done. Our third and final book. I'm not sure if you actually meant this when we talked about it, but I have, for my sins, read Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain #4, written by Teeny Howard, art by Vasco Georgiev. Eric Archadiga is on colours. Have I said his name already once? Yeah, he was helping out on the ASM. VC's Ariana Mayer is on letters. And I've got to be honest, Lucas, I know we looked at the first issue of this, but when I looked at this, I was like, what the hell is going on? It's like, as far as I can tell, Morgan Le Fay wants a house back. Doom helps to get that, so therefore they become a bit of a unity. So therefore, that's having an impact on what Betsy can do. There's some anti-mutant stuff going on in the UK. There's some it's just all over. And I don't know about you, but there seems to be a range of books that kind of go for this sort of like twee, cutesy kind of art style,
Mm,
um, which I think demeans some of these characters because you think Rachel Summers is a pretty badass character in herself. But when you draw in a cutesy style, it kind of takes away some of the. I don't take it seriously. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And then I think if you're going to have like serious books or serious characters, then surely, this just plays. It plays for comedy sometimes, and I don't even know what the joke is. Never mind whether I found it funny. I'm like, what? But I mean, what do you think? I mean, I thought it was
Yeah,
just
it's yeah,
too
yeah.
long.
I had not meant for us to review it because this was an actual dumpster fire of stuff they just threw on the freaking plate. And I usually don't like to trash hard any freaking type of book. I'll pick at it and everything, but this was absolutely freaking terrible. Like, so you want me to give you context and explain what the heck is going on? I can't because it's individual characters doing their thing together. It's like my goodness. So Betsy Braddock, she's doing her Captain Britain thing, and she's actually been looking for Morgan Le Fay. Rachel Summers, she's been using her third mind's eye to do her thing. I have a problem with that because when you're doing that, when you're looking into your mind's eye, you can't have any external relationships, right? You're supposed to be alone to be able to search that stuff. But no, she's got a relationship with Betsy Braddock, right? I've always harped on like, hey, we don't need our superheroes to be sexual, but they're doing it and it's actually counterintuitive to what she's actually looking for.
Mm,
So they if you're going to use the third eye, actually research what the hell that actually means and what the process that they actually need to do that before you take in some this Hinduism, freaking Zoroastrian, freaking philosophy. Please research that because you just messed it up, right? Then you got Brian Baddock, he's out there. Morgan Fate's actually been out there trying to freaking find him and freaking kill him. Megan Baddock, she's a little freaking girl. I'm not sure why she's there. I don't know whether she's there to provide comic relief or whatever.
that's Maggie Braddock, isn't it?
Yeah,
Megan's
yes.
Megan's there, yeah.
Yeah.
Megan's still the adult.
Jamie Braddock, he's always there just to do stuff and just mess everybody up. Um, then of course Mark and Faye and Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom, you know what? I do really like what they've been doing with Doctor Doom in the last year or
Hmm.
so because they've been taking him off of hey, he's just a bad guy. No, he is the ruler of a kingdom, and he's been reaching out and kind of connecting his personal relationships with the people he needs to help run his country. Run his country, whether it be Storm as the goddess and queen of Mars, whatever, or this other country, or hey, Mark Le Fay, and she owns this. So he's been kind of tying in, and he's been using the specter of war to make sure people stay off of this stuff and actually kind of dominate the storylines that he said.
Mm.
That's been good, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's this other stuff, right? It's like, okay, Morgan Le Fay, Doom, they're the big baddies and everything. You know what we got? We got a whole bunch of dialogue. We went from dialogue to dialogue to dialogue, right? Hey, we went from talking over here in this field to talking in the living room to talking at this red carpet freaking thing, and then we went back to freaking talking. We went from dialogue to dialogue. There was no rising action in this thing. You know what? You know what it means for me to read superheroes, right? You can have dialogue, but it's supposed to let you know, hey, what's going on, so that
Mm.
when we get to the fight, we could tell, oh, what are the freaking stakes, right?
Mm.
Why are they fighting, right? I didn't get any of that stuff. I just got dialogue to dialogue to dialogue about people that I really don't really care. I care. It's I care more about the villains right now, right, than I care about about these superheroes, about Captain Britain, Maggie, and Rachel, and all. I care about that's a shame. That is a crying shame when I care about the Milvons because all right now I want Morgan Le Fay and Doctor Doom to let loose. All right,
Yeah, that's
I
a
right now
shout.
I'm daring Captain Britain to step over that boundary line, right, so they
Yeah,
can let
go for it.
loose, right? You know,
Yeah.
because my goodness. And then in the meantime, it ends with what with they're trying to protect Brian Braddock from being captured by Morgan Le Fay, and what does he do? He just gives himself up. He
It's
gives himself
terrible.
up so he can go fight. I don't get it. He didn't explain why. He was like, oh, here I am. Like what what? Excuse
Yeah.
me. You do realize you have a whole family and they're fighting on your behalf to make sure that this doesn't happen. You just gave yourself up. I don't understand. The dialogue was terrible. Once again, I talked about the dialogue, and the
Mm.
dialogue was terrible. Right? There was no information. There was no big debate that was going on like that. It
Mm-hmm.
was just weird plot device at the plot device in a weird cacophony of nothingness, right? Um, I, I'm at a loss of what they were going for in this one. I've never seen a book that was so terrible, right? I've seen books that were aimed at teens that had and young children that had more of a that made more sense than what they were going for this book. So
Mm.
whoever wrote this, you say who do we say? Uh, Teeny Howard.
Tini Howard.
Teeny Howard usually actually writes pretty good. Didn't she used to write the Captain Marvel book?
Nope. But she has
Right.
written. She has done. I think she did like one of the X books, and I think she's done a couple of stuff for DC. Captain Marvel was Kelly Thompson.
Okay. Yeah. Don't give her any more books. Let her finish this out, and then don't give her any more books because this was crazy, absolutely freaking crazy. And what I usually don't like to say stuff like that, but this was a really bad issue of just stuff. The art was fine. I didn't care. I didn't. There was no, hey, this is what this is all about.
Mm.
When the art, but script was just terrible. I don't know what they were going for with this one.
Cool.
Maybe there was some stuff that was cut out.
Maybe. I
I don't
find it
know.
really odd that the Avengers book is going to be the best book of the week. That's
That's saying
unusual.
something.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
Oh my
At least they
god.
got putting Avengers books again.
Yeah.
Thank goodness on that one.
Agreed. Agreed. All right, there you go. 3 up, 3 down. We've talked about the Spider Verse. You know what time it is now, Lucas?
It's a 2 minute warning, y'all. All right, first up, we got the Captain America Cornero 1 and 10 design. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure if this is who this is or if it's the first appearance, but I do kind of like the design of this character. Then you got the Captain America Adi Granov, which is a 1 in 50.
That
They
is
missed a
that.
real big opportunity here, man. Because remember, hey, what happened to Captain America's ass? That's America's ass. Well,
I
then
was
this
just
one he
about
has
to
got
say. I was just about to say that's Captain America's ass, but never mind.
no ass, no ass, man. I don't know, man. Freaking. This one is your 1 in 100, George Perez.
That's a classic look, isn't it?
Yeah. Captain Marvel Dark Tempest to Jen Bartel.
That's the Hellfire Club variant,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah,
Yes, it is. This one is your Rico variant.
that's the one I'm going to hope for because it's got me the. That one. Either of those will work for me. I,
Derek Chu.
lo- I love the. I love the old.
Women's got curves. Real women have curves, man. That's all I'm saying. This one is your George Perez.
I like it, but I could live without it. It's not a deal breaker on that one.
Yeah. And then this is your 1 in 200 incentive variant by Rose Base.
I like it, but 1 in 200. I'm not going to spend £200 on
Oh
a
no,
cover.
it's more than it's going to be about 400, $500.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
spending that. I can buy I can actually buy actual art for that.
Yeah. Edge of the Spider Verse.
Is this still going on?
Return. Yep, Return of the Dream Spider. This is your Simone Bianchi.
Oh, that's canny. I like that one.
Rian Gonzalez.
Too loud.
Extreme Venomverse. This is going to be the first appearance of a new character
Hey,
connected to the
look,
Manga Universe. Yeah,
it's Harley Venom.
it
Yay!
is. This one is your 1 in 25.
Just you go around calling Eddie Brock Mr. V. Hey, Mr. V.
I can't wait to see, man. This is going to be interesting. It does seem like Marvel's getting it. They are trying to introduce more manga art into it and more of the manga shoujo freaking type stuff. So we'll see if this actually works out. Probably not, but we'll see. And then there's your Peach Momoko open order.
Oh,
Fantastic Four, Simone Bianchi.
that's only one of them.
This one is kind of interesting. So this cover
I've
art,
seen this. This is the free comic book day.
this was the art for the free comic book day, but this one is actually it's called Marvel Zero.
Okay,
And what they're doing is they're taking all the Marvel books, free comic book books, and they're putting it into one thing, right?
right.
And they're actually adding more stuff like the screen prints and all the other stuff in there.
Okay.
Um,
Is that free
so
as well then? Like,
this is not. This is actually a 1 of 50. This is a 1 in 50, so people are gonna have to buy a whole bunch of crap to actually get this one. And then there's
oh, you
this.
could just use the cover that you got from the free comic book day.
Yes. Hmm.
Although ironically, I did see recently that the cover that's from the Marvel Uncanny Avengers, I think it is,
Hmm.
it's selling upwards of a fiver, £5-10 over here.
Really,
So, yeah.
really, man, I got a whole bunch of those too. Um, all right, so here's where starts to get screwy.
Is that Frank Miller?
Yes, Frank Miller has a 1/100 cover for Moon Knight.
I would
The
not
reason
pay
why
that for a normal cover price. To be fair, he's a bit
yeah,
of a. I think he's a bit of a polarizing artist at the minute, Frank Miller.
mm,
You either love him or you hate them.
mm. Um, the reason why people are going to have an interest in buying 100 copies of this is because you remember the Moon Knight series, and you
Uh-huh.
remember his wife from that series. Well, okay, well, nobody cares about that joint. That was like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Right.
Um, well, she is going. She is a superhero, or she will be a superhero. Her first appearance in the comics is going to be in this issue.
Really?
Yeah. So there's this one, which is a 1 of 200 by Art Germ. This one is by friend of Comic Crusaders, Maria Wolf. This one's open order. I forget who did this one. Let's see, it says Anderson.
So open order means that it just comes in as a standard book. You don't have to order shed loads of
Right.
different. Right. Okay.
Right. Um. Then there's this one. It's like okay, whatever, don't care. This one is your Alex Maleev.
Again, really, I don't know. Sometimes I love him and sometimes I hate him. I'm not liking all the red for a Moon Knight book, but
Yeah, people were kind of freaking out, like what's going on. They don't
mm,
like. Um, Now here we go. On the left-hand side, that is the Layla Luled. That's her name.
Okay.
And then on the right,
Werewolf
been
by Night.
polling. Yeah, Werewolf by Night. People have really been digging that cover. This one, that's a JTC John Tyler Christopher. People really love his art when he does these negative spaces. So
Yeah.
that one might be the one to get. The problem is
It's 1 in
that
5,000.
oh no, nope. It's open order,
Uh-huh.
right? It's open order, but it's $9.99
How
per
many
book.
pages?
Let's see. Does it say in the thing?
Because if it's $9.99 and you're getting like 80
96
pages,
pages. 96 pages.
that's not bad then, is it really?
It is if you're like me and you're going to be chasing that 1 or 200, right? Because now you're talking about a thousand. What's 200 times $5? That's like $1,000 for that
Yep.
art journal. So here it is. Lone Moon Knight City of the Dead.
How many covers is Moon Knight getting?
Oh, a lot. Too many. I'm not even
Okay.
going to count it. But this one right here is in open order. It is a popularized foil variant, though.
All right, okay. God, please don't tell me files are coming back. Okay.
They are. They are. So, for instance, there's a bunch of second prints, or it's not second prints, but facsimiles. So, for instance, Hulk 1881 is getting a facsimile that's on FOC this week, as well
Okay.
as Amazing Spider-Man number 300 as a facsimile that's going to be foil as well. That's
Why
going to FOC
300?
this week.
Why
Yeah.
300?
Why not?
Well, I mean, because
People for a long time considered it to be the first appearance of Venom.
well, it's not.
I know.
All right, okay.
So it's that weird speculator world where people just say, "Hey, this is the one." It's like Hulk 181, not the first appearance of Wolverine.
Not the first full appearance of a Wolverine.
Moon Knight City of the Dead, Scotty Young.
I'm getting the idea here that Marvel's putting out no other comics other than Moon Knight.
Spider-Man.
Hey, Spider-Man! Yay, something different.
Yep, Stephanie Hans, the Hellfire Gala.
Who's the girl? Who's it supposed to be?
I'm not sure. Is that Phoenix Rogue?
No, it's not Rogue. Could be Phoenix, I suppose. Or okay, cool. No idea who it is.
It is. It is what it is.
Okay.
This one is the Star Wars 36 Ordway Classic Trade Dress variant.
I do like that cover. That screams old school. That screams old timers, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
This is your John Tyler Christopher Action Fairy variant.
I wouldn't be surprised if you got the actual action figure with it.
Send a note.
But of course, is that Padme? Is that the because the two actresses played her, isn't there?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
There's your 1 in 25 Garbe variant.
Name none.
Venom, Bjorn Berens. And the Sinister Four. Sinister's got 4 kids, clones running around.
Oh, right, okay.
This is the story. There's a bunch of covers going on for that one. Like, I didn't find any of them particularly interesting.
I do hope that the fall of X is going to reboot the whole damn thing. I'm pretty much done with it by now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Cool.
Marvel still to keep an eye out as far as sales that have gone up that haven't been coming out yet. It's Incredible Hulk 181, Basic Spider-Man number 300, Fantastic Four number 8, that Alex Ross variant. We've already covered Amazing Spider-Man number 26. I would say look out for a second print on that one. Venom number 20, and Invincible Iron Man number 7. There is an Extreme Venomverse one that's coming out maybe in the next few months, where there's going to be the first appearance of Venom Boy. Okay. Here's the stuff that's coming out this week. Daredevil's Mark Gicchetto.
Is that finishing soon? Daredevil. Or is it still ongoing?
Daredevil should never be done. It should go
Okay.
on and on, my friends.
I hope something changes because it's mired at the minute, mired in repetition.
Deadpool Battered Blood, number 1. There is a 1 in 25 and a 1 in 50 by Panosian. But the one that's interesting is there's actually going to be a Scotty Young that's coming out with that one. That one's already sold out at the distributor level, so we cannot go back to Marvel and ask for more copies right now. It hasn't even freaking sold yet. Um, I know this is not necessarily through Penguin Random House, but this is a Disney property. Maleficent, Disney Villains. This one was an FOC, so we didn't get the art for this one until like maybe 2 or 3 days before FOC. That one sold out as well.
By Dynamite, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Dynamite. Fantastic Four. This one is the 1 in 1. It's not a 1 in 1,000, but this is the one with the 1,000 villains on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Groot, number 2. This is the first appearance of Skandara, or whatever her name is. Riri Ironheart. There's a 150 by Derek Chu. This one is one to keep an eye out on. Art Germ Loki number 1. There is a regular cover A, and then there's also a 1 in 100 for this one. Red Goblin Torrin Clark.
Is anyone reading Red Goblin?
Oh, why does it keep going like doing like? I'm sorry, say again now.
Is anyone reading Red Goblin?
No, nobody cares about Venom or Goblin right now.
Okay.
Once they killed off Null by the blessing of a god of light, and the god of light just turned out to be Brock. Everybody was like, nah, everybody was
I'm
done.
done. Pass.
The Vader Dark Blood Red, whatever you
Oh,
freaking
man.
call it.
Those covers are just fire.
Yes. This one is actually the second print of that first issue. Already sold out, brother.
Man, that is fire.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad that I didn't buy any. Then I believe I'm not sure this is my last one, but there's the Star Wars Empire Ryan Brown. This I forget whether this is the cover A or the cover C, but there is a 1 in 100 version of this one.
Isn't that one at the front a little short to be a stormtrooper?
Hmm. Or are they going downhill?
That
Or
was
maybe it's like
just a joke. It's a joke.
it's an Ewok hideout.
An Ewok trooper.
And that, sir,
Is that? Look, we got it all done in an hour. It's that professor. He takes all the time. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Now we know why it takes us more than an hour to do this.
All right, there you go. You've had Spider-Verse. You've had 3 comic books. You've had the 2-minute warning. All delightfully delivered by myself and by Lucas. Lucas, great job as always, sir.
Thank you very much. Can't wait to see y'all in another couple weeks.
Indeed.
Do we have any Marvel stuff, Marvel movies or TV series coming out in the next couple weeks? I don't
We
know.
don't, other than, of course, the Distinguished Competition have a movie coming out, don't they, in a couple of weeks?
We do, and
I always have tickets for that.
I'm pretty sure you guys will discuss that on Old Timers. Or is Old Timers where you guys had the
TDC for
TDC? Yep.
TDC for the Definitive Crusade for everything that's DC.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lucas, thank you so much. I really appreciate you spending the time.
Oh, thank you. It's out.
All right. Don't forget to check out UCPM for all your favorite shows, including Lucas. Where can we see the Drunken Chat, son?
Drunken Chat is live.
Live.
Friday nights, usually like around 10 o'clock, or if we're too drunk, we'll take a daddy nap and we'll be up there at midnight. Either way, we usually go over about 3 or 4 hours, right? So if you just look for us in between 10, 12, or 1 o'clock in the morning, you'll find us out there. You can hang out with us and discuss everything freaking comics, everything nerdy wise, and hang out with us and the crew. And bring your drinks, bring your food, bring whatever. Just be nice to everybody.
Yeah, and remember, it's not for kids.
Except for people tend to bring their babies and everything on.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and also don't forget, we mentioned them earlier, the Old Timers Comic Book Show with a death special tied into what's going on in Marvel at the moment. Finally, I've been your host, Johnny Machine Hughes, and as always, Adios.
Out.
The video won't play.